Hello, it's Carrie Cordy. It's July 12th, I think, Wednesday, 2017. Think I may have lost my job today. Yeah, on Saturday, I had yet again another guy threaten to kick the shit out of me. Because all I said was, hey, you're letting a lot of stuff go by. That's it. That doesn't warrant anybody instantly exploding on anybody else and threatening to fucking beat the shit out of them. Or, as this guy said when he didn't think I could hear him through the earplugs, I got a demon inside of me. And anyone that fucks with me, I'll release that demon. Oh, nobody fucks with me. So, report this to my boss. They don't do anything and in fact tell me to go to exactly where I was and not to look at him because I was the one that caused the problem. There's a policy there that only really applies to not only me but really other women, and it's we're not allowed to talk at work. And if anything happens, we need to go to a supervisor. But of course talking is allowed on the line and people can talk. But you can't tell anybody anything work related. That's fucked up. And so today was after my Monday and Tuesday off. I didn't see the boss there on Saturday or Sunday. Wasn't coming in on my days off, although they did call me an hour after I was done talking to the police after my neighbor tried to murder me. And then when I told the lady from Northwest Staffing why I couldn't go to work on my day off because, I was waiting for the police to call me back to see what they could do about my neighbor trying to kill me. By the way, he tried to lure me into a shed at 5:30 in the morning when I told him he needed to clean the bathroom, which is his responsibility. He tried to lure me into a shed, and when I wouldn't go in, he comes out of his shed a little bit, and he was trying to hide a knife behind his back, 6 to 8 inch blade. What would you call that? And then I tell her what had happened, the representative from Northwest Staffing. And she said, oh, does that mean you don't want to come into work? And I said, want? I can't. My neighbor just tried to kill me and I'm waiting for the cops. So today I go in, first time I've been able to do a meeting, and I have to work at 6:30 to clock in. And he's not there at 6:30 and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to try to do this. But the closer I got to work, the more I started shaking and the more I had to fight back tears. And by the time I got down there, was starting to put on my shit to get on in the clean room, I was crying, openly crying. And I just I can't be here. And I tell my boss this, and he has complete dead eyes staring at me. The floor supervisor, the head of the shrimp after it's cooked person. And he's staring at me with complete dead eyes. And I get nothing. He's like, well, maybe you might want to come back at 11 when Wayne comes in. And I said, well, can't you have Wayne call me when he comes in? I need to talk to him as soon as possible. Your best bet is coming in at 11. So I was clocked in 15 minutes. I clocked out, and I couldn't even come home because of this whole situation. I drove around until 10:30. I was like, fuck it, I'll just go in and talk. And Dustin is the the floor production supervisor or something. He's the guy on the floor that makes sure everything stays running. This man has never once referred to me as a woman. And in fact, during crab season, he came up and asked me if I was smoking because somebody smelled smoke in the bathroom. And then he started going asking other men, and so I walked up to him and I said, Dustin, was there smoking in the women's bathroom? No, it was the men's. It's like, Dustin, I don't use the men's bathroom. I have never once presented as a male or done anything male at this place, but this fucking piece of shit He's the reason I'm not running IQF anymore, because anytime I complained, it fell on deaf ears. And my direct boss, the head of the shrimp, Misty, which is mostly there, anytime I complained to her, deaf ears, nothing. So anyway, I'm at this. I finally come back for the meeting, and I'm talking to Wayne. They're instantly attacking me. Why were you even talking? Hey, Dustin, is it a part of her job to make a comment? Well, no, it's not. You know, because I told this guy to use letting more shrimp, and I stopped him and I said, wait a minute, I am a little distraught at the fact that you're focusing more upon this petty little detail than on the fact that at the first break I went to Misty. I said that you need to keep an eye on this guy. He's not doing anything. He's really letting a lot go. I did the same thing at the second break. And then before lunch, the girl that I was next to said something to this guy. 20 minutes later, when I say something to this guy, he explodes instantly. Another woman, fine. Me? Oh, hell no. And so they're not focusing on that. And Wayne, at the very end of it, says, you know, after completely demoralizing and interrupting me and twisting everything to a different subject, the second I start to make a good point, making me feel like a complete worthless piece of shit. By the way, this is Bandon Pacific in Charleston, Oregon. Bandon Pacific is a subsidiary of Pacific Seafoods. These people do unconscionable things in the name of keep production going. I was sexually harassed on the job, and I was told that if I didn't eat up and get up back on the line, I'd be sent home without pay. And this was after they refused to fire the guy that wouldn't stop asking me if I had a cock, despite the fact that I told him over again that that was offensive and to quit asking. My job was put on the line for not accepting this guy's apology that they were forcing him to give me, and after I wouldn't accept it, and my boss was chiding me for it, the guy says, oh, well, I don't see what the big deal is anyway. I apologize. Can I go? And I have this all on audio recording. And what does this man do, Wayne, who's head of Bandon Pacific and, you know, the big manager that has to be there every day? What did he do? He made goddamn well sure that this woman was put in her place. That my only place in that place is to shut the fuck up and work 10 times harder than any other goddamn man there. I did every job in that place, and several jobs no woman has ever goddamn done before. And even in one instance, it was one that I did by myself, and it was one that no woman had ever done, and few men had ever done by themselves. I do hard goddamn work, and what did these pieces of shit do to me? At the end of this meeting, he says, we'll contact Northwest Staffing, and we'll get back to you. You know, the business day's over. I haven't heard anything, and in fact, I had to call Northwest Staffing. They're the temp agency that does the hiring for Bandon Pacific. You know, so that they can really get away with lots of stuff. It's a wonderful business practice. You know, I called my rep and nothing. They hadn't even talked to her about it. You know, I started telling her about how this stems from my sexual harassment, and she hung up on me. I called her back and asked what happened. She said, "Oh, I'm sorry. My phone is no good. It is a kick out here sometimes. I'm so sorry." And I started talking to her again, and she said, "Hold on," and she set the phone down. And yeah, I heard something going on. It honestly sounded like she was in her kitchen with her family. And she left it there for like 10-15 minutes. I had nothing to do. I'm laying on my bed, waiting for a call. See what these pieces of shit, what they will do. Yeah, and so after it comes on again, she comes back. And she comes, so what happened with Wayne? What happened with Wayne? And I had already told her the story. So I had to tell her once again, and she didn't listen. And she said, well, why don't you just come into my office tomorrow? And I had to repeat to her, you really don't understand the point? You know, she's Latino. She speaks English as if it's with a very, very thick, I haven't spoken it long accent. My grandmother's from Mexico. I was taught to respect the Latino people and the Mexican people specifically. So any of you motherfuckers out there think I'm being racist, no. I'm not being racist here. There was a serious lack of communication in these people at every level, even with the cop yesterday. Am I not being clear when I communicate? Please leave a comment for those of you that watch and give a shit. Am I clear when I communicate? Or am I crazy? What do you think? Is this all in my head? And please share this. I need to get this story out. This story has to get to somebody that can do something. People like this. This is the 4th fucking job I've lost for being transgender. And if there's a position to move up to, I always move up to it. But what is it about me? Why do they hate me so much? Please help me.